Good morning. So please stand if you're from Massachusetts. Congratulations. What a great win. You can remain seated if you're from Los Angeles. I want to welcome everyone to our fall conference in Las Vegas. And for those of you that haven't heard, I'm not Dave. Dave has left the building. I am Linda Darr, and I'm your new president and CEO. And thank you. You all have been really kind, and I appreciate that. I just want to make that note. You have given me an incredibly warm welcome, and I can't tell you how much that means to me. I will tell you, though, I didn't know your former CEO very long, but I have enormous respect for the work that he's done at ACEC. He navigated ACEC for just about 20 years, and I am truly the beneficiary of his steady hand and his commitment to this industry. But the thing is we can recognize Dave for a lot of contributions, but we can't credit him alone with the one thing that is truly the beating heart of ACEC, and that is all of you. So I actually want to ask you all to give yourselves a hand for tremendous commitment to this organization. Your work and your dedication to this organization and to engineering generally has built the opportunities that we have today at ACEC. I recognize that my job is to be what I call the trusted caretaker of your organization. And I see my charge as one of promoting the business of engineering. My colleagues in our member organizations, I know, share that charge with me. I've heard from them a lot. Before I took the job at ACEC, though, I took the time and I studied it. And since coming on board in August, I have been very fortunate to meet so many of you as I traveled around the country. And I have gained a few impressions. The engineering industry has a distinct personality as an industry. And you enjoy poking fun at yourselves. You tell a lot of jokes. But one of my favorites, and I have heard this numerous times since I came on board, so I know it by heart, but one of my favorites is that you can tell an engineer is an extrovert versus an introvert when she speaks with you and she looks at her shoes instead of looking at your shoes. That's the extroverted engineer. So the first thing I did when I came on board was invest in some new shoes for my new role. As an industry, I think you share several stereotypical personality traits, truthfully. You're logical, you're cautious, and you're introverted. Not all of you, but a number of you. There are also, I think, three notable traits that I find especially admirable. Undying curiosity. Good engineers wonder and they question a lot. Flexibility. Every engineer has experienced things not going to plan. So you must be highly adaptable, you must be open to change, and ready to do whatever is needed to get the job done. And finally, you share a strong work ethic, and I see this every day. I think a blogger that I follow now said it best. The engineering profession requires a lot from those who practice it. That constant toil instills a work ethic seen in no other industry. So I'm optimistic about the capacity for engineers to stare down the challenges on the horizon for this industry. We have the tools that it takes to succeed, and I think that provides a great transition. One of the most effective tools you have available to you is the one that gathered you all here today, and that is ACEC. And ACEC has a lot to be proud of. I have been extremely impressed by this team and by the professionalism and the high quality of the programs that are being run by national and in the states and in the metro areas. and we have had certainly our share of victories. We had a very big win in December coming out of tax reform in the 20% deduction for pass-throughs and the 21% tax rate for C-Corps. We continue to make progress on promoting QBS and keeping a strong focus on infrastructure investment. And our Minuteman Fund is really the Energizer Bunny in helping the MOs pass infrastructure funding bills at the state level, supporting contracting out to private firms, and many purposes that serve our industry well. This year, a Minuteman Fund grant helped ACEC Minnesota successfully challenge a procurement policy that had led to the wholesale banning of members from a state light rail project. These kinds of things we need to fight against, but these kinds of victories don't happen by accident. A lot has to come together to score public policy victories. A first-rate lobbying team, which we have, engagement at the grassroots level, which we have, supported by the Minuteman Fund, which is critical, and a strong political arm that's funded by your contributions to the ACEC PAC. All of those things are critical ingredients to these successes. The PAC is particularly important in shaping our wins at the national level. We strive every day to be the best possible stewards of your donations. Every penny is budgeted to have the maximum positive impact, and the MOs are full partners in that process. Our value proposition goes beyond the regulatory and legislative area, though, and I know you know that. The services we provide our members rival any that I have seen in 30 years now in the association business. Each year, we hold more than 120 webinars. We graduate 52 students through our SEI and our Pathways Leadership Development programs. We bring together nearly 3,500 people at meetings like the one that you're attending this week. And we keep you up to date on industry news through Engineering Inc. and our e-newsletter, Last Word, with circulations topping 100,000. But we can't rest with that. There is much more that we can do. When you write your check to ACEC National, we want you to feel good about that. Our ACEC chair, Manish Kotari, who going forward I will refer to as M, has appointed a great group of industry leaders to help us develop a new strategic plan. As Manish likes to say, we want this to be an audacious process. So I looked up audacious to be sure that I understand his direction. And audacious is defined as showing a willingness to take surprisingly bold risks. So for an association that represents over 5,500 engineering firms, the plan to be audacious is audacious. But it's time for us to be bold, I believe that. It's time for us to be bold if we are to embrace the future and what it holds for our industry. And I came to ACEC because I saw potential. I also knew that we were facing a time when our industry would be tested. We are in a time of tremendous disruption as a nation. Uncertainty rules the day. Our nation's political institutions are suffering from a loss of respect. The economy is booming, but a cyclical slowdown might just be on the horizon. Uncertainty is also rife in our industry. Talent is becoming more complicated and hard to find and manage. Commoditization threatens profit margins. Modernizing our nation's infrastructure faces significant funding challenges, and natural disasters are becoming all too common. To be prepared for all of this, we must be willing to ask hard questions and to lead with the intelligence, the integrity, and the innovative spirit that lies at the soul of engineering. I accepted the challenge of becoming the CEO of ACEC because I thought I could do it. I also believed it was the right fit because I'd been tested. My experience leading other industries through change and disruption came with some battle scars, but it also helped to build perspective. I know from experience that to be successful, we must be action-oriented. We must use good judgment in taking risks, and we have to muster equal measure of courage and confidence to face this time of both change and opportunity. So here is my vision for ACEC. First off, we need to abide by a clear and straightforward process with everyone pulling in the same direction toward the same goal. Now I'm going to be audacious here, and I'm going to make an executive decision about what the process and the goal will be. We will work with and through our member organizations to grow the ACEC value proposition and to build strength and prominence for ACEC and the engineering industry. We will do that by helping our member organizations develop the tools to grow. We will create a potent, forward-looking advocacy arm focused on reducing risk and growing the business of engineering. We will support our public policy agenda with strategic communications, fact-based research, and a solution-oriented approach. We'll use our coalitions, our committees, our forums, and our councils to reach more engineers with relevant business tools in their respective disciplines. And we'll embrace change that will drive us forward. And that includes finding ways to promote our goals as businesses by promoting inclusiveness and diversity in the workplace today, and by investing in the workforce of tomorrow. When I began, I talked about the personality stereotype of engineers. And I think it's truly fine to poke fun and joke among ourselves about this profession. But I want to leave you today with some thoughts about the voice that we use outside of our own group. Our outside voice, for those of you that have children. When you use your outside voice with the rest of the world, I hope you'll remember that engineering truly is a proud and a noble profession. Engineering isn't about simply connecting the dots, about doing the math or solving problems. Engineering connects vision with ability and translates big and small ideas into achievable processes. And by doing so, it bridges a gap and makes possible what previously was not. So my goal at ACEC is to make sure the value that you create will be supported, that your efforts will flourish, and that this industry will be recognized and rewarded with the tools necessary for even greater success. So thank you for investing in your industry by being here today, and thank you very much for bringing me along for the ride. You can applaud now.